Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome back to my channel. Always so happy to find you here. If you're new, I'm delighted to have you. I hope you stay for a good long while and bring a friend with you next time. If you haven't subscribed yet, I hope you subscribe now or anytime while watching this video. I would love to have your subscription too. I wanted to discuss the topic of having a courageous conversation. And this would not be the first time I've had this topic, the second, third, or maybe even fourth time. I'm sure I'm close to a dozen because I am an advocate that people should speak and express their minds in a respectful, direct, tactful, and loving way, because that is the only way that people know your thoughts about a thing. We don't read minds. And this idea of a courageous conversation came to me a few years ago in a training that we were doing. And I found that it is more difficult. It seemed to be more difficult for people to speak their mind directly, indirectly, lovingly or not, but to speak their mind, to say what they wanted in or from a situation. So they never had what they wanted from the situation because the decision was made for them in their silence. Now, this is nonsense, but I give it a sense of credence because I myself developed the muscle to speak it. Watch some of my old videos where I tell you how my boss, my favorite boss of all time, encouraged me and he said, I need you to be a little more assertive. You got to stop doing everybody else's work. Make them do their own work, Sheri. It was very hard for me to do that, but now I can easily say what's on my mind. And so here's what's on my mind about that. I have found that it is easier to change people's heart, to break their heart, to borrow their money, to borrow some sugar, to borrow their car, to ignore their call, to not respond to their email, than to just have a conversation as to why you're doing all those things. People just don't seem to have the come with it to do it. So I encourage you to do that because when you don't do that, you allow, as I said earlier, the situation to be summarized in your behalf because of your silence. This is what is meant by formulating a mindset. Like a person has a mind that's set. And if there is no engagement or interaction that would change that mindset can become a concrete mindset. It can become a stubborn mindset. It can become an unaltered mindset. It can become a blocked mindset. It can become an unchanging mindset. And so until we adjust our minds are set. And here's the thing about that, giving an example as I talk about our interactions with people. Interactions is a relationship. When we don't, you give the person the opportunity to surmise what you would have said or not, because you did not say or not a thing about a thing. And somehow or another, I seem to have the audacity to try and encourage us to speak up, speak out, speak loud, speak proud, but speak in such a way that whatever the situation is that you want to have changed is changed because you say something. Now, I'll end with this. I am under the belief, and there is some facts, fact sheets, and studies performed that demonstrate how people in relationships with their parents, their partners, their work buddies, and in life in general have waned, mean go down because the two never had a conversation about a topic that would have grown the relationship in another direction. And this is what impacts our relationships the most negatively. Because when you should have said something and didn't, you allow the other person to go on without you. So you sever the relationship. And not to pick on you guys, but men have learned to take an assault by which they may appear vulnerable just by being silent. That is improper training. That is childish. That is a protection. That is a protection of your heart. When really the opposite should occur. You should speak up about a thing, especially if it is a valued relationship that you want with your mother, your brother, your sister, your future wife, your coworker. And be more, I hate to say vulnerable because men don't like to be vulnerable, but women are naturally more expressive, I'll put it that way. And I know too that sometimes we talk with our emotions and we just, and then it gets too much. We use like 10 words for every one word that a man uses, just like that. That's not the talk I'm talking about. I'm talking about the talk that I'm using this tone right now. So here's an example. Let's say it's your mate. And y'all might be headed to divorce. I don't want that. Mm-mm. No, no, no. No. I hate the word irreconcilable because it goes against everything that I believe. And I believe you can reconcile everything, even if you don't reconnect everything. You can bring the commonalities back together. But anyway, I'm also an earth sign. Nonetheless, I think that when you have a conversation with someone, it is important for them to know that they are hearing a truth from you and how important this truth from you should be shared with you and not withheld in their own mind. Because until you do that, they get to surmise your silence as disinterest. And that silence will help them to leave the building and leave your life because they've not heard from you on it. That kind of, and you don't want that. No, you don't. You don't. You don't want that. So have the courageous conversation that's necessary. And we have got to learn societally, I think, societally, we have got to learn to stop disposing of people so easily. Start and all that. Never, here's, I want to end right here because this should be a very short video, but I want to end right here. Never, ever, to the degree that you can never, ever do it, never ghost a person. It is the quickest way of karma that you'll ever get. I kid you not. Everybody I know who's done it has had that. You don't do that because when you ghost a person, it's a childish move. It's like, I don't want to hear from them now. If you're angry at the time, just say let's not talk right now. And that's not ghosting. When I say ghosting, it's an intentional, ghosting is an intentional act to belittle and demean a person. And that person was created by a higher source just like you. And the karma will come quick. Don't do it. Don't do it. I don't want you to experience the hurt that comes from that because it will. And I love you. If you've gotten this far, please click like, please click subscribe, please click subscribe, please click subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye.